Hey everybody, welcome to Off the Tracks here from the U.S. Cellular Coliseum. We're here down in the basement of the Coliseum right next to the Thunder locker room. We have assistant coach and director of scouting Jewell as we're getting set for the Bloomington Thunder's Wednesday matchup, and then Friday and Saturday take on the Chicago Steel. Wednesday and Saturday and Friday. Team USA, the U17 team, will be here at the Coliseum. Get your tickets by giving us a call at 309-434-2980. But hey, we've got a special edition of Off the Tracks coming at you. It's going to be basically a rundown of all the scouting purposes for this team and what it means to scout in the USHL, because really not too many people know too much about it here, Julesy, and what it means to really scout for this league and what really goes into moving these guys up, because it's a very short transition time having guys here one season and then moving up to the college level in the next 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's pretty new to me as well. I've been on board for 2.5 months, and it's an exciting time for this organization and team and myself as well. It's essentially this league, you build your team through the draft, and you have to evaluate players of all ages, but specifically going into this year, it's the Futures Draft, which is the 99 birth year, and then Phase 2, the entry-level draft, are the older players. Next year it will be the 98s to the 95s. So that's essentially what I'm doing is I'm on the road and I'm looking at the best players in the country and internationally as well, and evaluating talent. And we have regional scouts, and we're building a list, and we're establishing relationships and getting to know kids and who will best fit the Bloomington Thunder.
So we'll talk about that kind of draft process that you were talking about. Coming into an expansion year, Bloomington had a little bit of extra push. You get a couple more draft picks, get a little bit more into the affiliate list, into players, and being able to hold on to guys. So now you've got a wide array of players to look at here over the next couple seasons. And how's it been to just kind of dive into it and starting to get to know all these guys, not only the 23 or so guys in the locker room, but then the rest of the guys on our affiliate list here?
Right, it's essential. I mean, as I mentioned, you build through the draft here in this league. So our players that were drafted, they were taken in last year's draft. I wasn't here for the draft, but I've worked to establish a relationship with these guys and further plan on developing, do that, and we hope to get them in here to skate. We've had a few guys in to skate already and get to know the guys. Some of our guys obviously will be returning next year, so it's important to establish that family-like atmosphere, so these guys that are coming in next year have that sense and have that feel and have that family that they're coming to. So I've been out quite a bit. I've seen a number of these guys. There's some I haven't yet. I'm looking forward to seeing them in the near future. I've seen some on video, and I've talked to a bunch on the phone as well. So glad to say that all these coaches and the players themselves, it seems like we have high character guys in the program coming up through, so it's exciting.
So the first phase of the USHL draft here in 2014 that took place just back in the off season, I believe it was May or so, or April, or I'm not even sure when the draft took place, June or something like that. But the first phase picks were through the first 8 rounds, and you get guys that probably aren't going to play. They're 98s about that are in that phase draft. So you're starting to build the future there, and then you jumped into the phase 2 draft, which was the component of much of this team, and then you went into open camp and everything. But those guys are where we kind of have centered around the affiliate list. Can you talk about what is the affiliate list really, and what can the team do with these guys this season and then in the future?
Sure. Well, the affiliate list are drafted players by the Bloomington Thunder, our affiliate list, and we're allowed to have a certain number of players in each birth year. And being affiliate players, we have the option of having them come up and play affiliate games for our team, and obviously they can come out and skate with the team whenever they want. But so what we're trying to do here is establish a quality affiliate list, so our future for our program is good, and that's the again, that's how the league is established, and that's how the best teams in the league year to year do a very good job in the draft and have a solid affiliate list, and not only quality players but quality kids and quality character.
So let's dive into one of the guys on the affiliate list who you may have noticed on the Bloomington Thunder, Maxime Joshevelli. He's been back and forth with the team, playing in 4 games or so with the team so far this season, and really not technically on the active roster like you mentioned, but he gets waived for some of those affiliate games. for a guy who's a 96 like Maxime to get some playing time and really start to dive into the USHL life. What have you kind of seen out of him that you've liked so far for this year?
Yeah, well, as far as I'm concerned, Max is a unique situation. He is an affiliate list player. He's not a roster spot, but he's been a part of this team from day one, at least since I've been here. So it's a unique situation where he's essentially been a member of he's on our team.
Right.
He's part of our team day to day. He's been here from day one through camp and training every day, and he's no different than any other roster player on our team right now. So that's a unique situation, and we'll work through his number of games he can play as affiliate player and move from there. So
now the other guys that you're not familiar with, some of the guys that were picked up in the draft, including the first round draft picked in Phase 2. Mitchell Matson is one of the guys there. Maxime's younger brother, Vladislav Jewell, he's on the list as well. From the guys that you've taken a look at and seen a little bit of film, what have you liked about those guys and moving forward with this franchise? How bright is the future for Bloomington? Yeah,
it's exciting. I think we have a great group here, as I mentioned. Mitchell Matson is an exciting player. He's getting a lot of attention, not only by colleges, which he's already made his commitment, but by pro scouts as well. I mean, he's a big, tall, gifted player, and he's projected to be something pretty special moving forward. So we're excited to see his progress through the year, and look forward to establishing a relationship with him and going from there. And Max's brother, Vlad, I personally haven't been able to see yet, but our regional scouts have seen, and obviously the rest of our staff has seen quite a bit. And he's a highly gifted, skilled, goal-scoring, European Russian player, and I'm looking forward to seeing him play. And funny you mentioned his name. He might actually, I just got off the phone with his coach. He might actually be making it out this week to potentially get some affiliate action. So I'm waiting to get a phone call back. Hopefully we'll see him this weekend, actually, maybe on Friday night. So that's a little taste of how the affiliate list works right there. So,
and of course, obviously, it's not like he's going to come in and earn that roster spot, but he's going to get a little bit of action. How crucial is that for some of these guys like Max, like Vlad, to come in, get a couple games under their belt, moving forward with their USHL careers?
Yeah, it's essential. I mean, the experience to actually play in the league is like no other. So guys that are on our list and we project to be players in our league and for our team and a big part of this program, I think it's very important for them to get some affiliate action through the year. I mean, each individual is different. Some guys play in different leagues or teams that don't allow for them to get out during their seasons, which is understandable, but others do. So we take advantage of those situations. We work around the others. So.
We're talking to assistant coach Dan Jewell. He's also the director of scouting on a special edition of Off the Tracks, where we talk about the affiliate players and the draft process and also the scouting that goes into the USHL season for your Bloomington Thunder. And Julesy will kind of touch on this other aspect of it, which is getting some of the older guys on this team. There's a possibility that at the end of the year they're going to start moving out. So these guys on this affiliate list you might be able to see later in the year, and maybe you get a little bit of a taste, kind of like the AHL bringing up guys into the system from college at the end of the year. You get a little bit of a taste of them before they go into the next season, and you touched on it just a second ago about how crucial it is to get guys into the lineup. What does it do for the confidence of a guy knowing that you can get him into the lineup later in the year and give him a little bit of a push going into the next season?
Yeah, confidence is huge for any athlete, and if he has a comfort level with where he is, where he's playing, where he's going, and just living the life of a student athlete in this league, and for Bloomington, it's that's something. Again, it's an experience that can't be compared. So that's something we're looking forward to establishing and bringing guys in more often. And like I mentioned, it's. Some guys can more often, some guys can't because of their schedule, but it's something that we're looking forward to, and I'm looking forward to getting to know them, not just on the phone and watching them at the rink and talking to them at the rink, but seeing them day to day and seeing how their work ethic is and how they interact with our team and stuff like that. It's all very exciting.
And the one part of it too, you get to watch film on some of these guys, but how much do you actually learn over film versus seeing these guys in action in person, and especially like you mentioned, just getting to know their personalities as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I like making sure to get out to see games live. I think you'll learn a lot more from watching a game live on tape. Maybe the camera's not always in the spot you want to look at all the time, even if the player's not not on the ice and playing. You want to see his interaction on the bench with the coach, in between periods. Is he a good teammate? And those are all things you don't necessarily realize when watching game tape. It's the intangibles, often more so than the talent, because all these guys have talent and all these guys will have the potential to play in this league. It's being able to be that good teammate and have the work ethic and have the character. And at the same time, I have the chance to speak with them in person if I'm at a game, and then I have a chance to speak to the coaching staff. It goes a long way than just having, watch on your laptop or television a game. So
Bloomington got a couple games coming up this week on Wednesday and then Friday and Saturday right around Thanksgiving. Chicago on Wednesday and then on Saturday as well. 7 o'clock starts for that. As we get to a welcome home game on Wednesday night, bring all the college kids out. If you're in town, bring a valid college ID and you get into the game for free on that Wednesday. And then Teddy Bear Toss is Saturday against Chicago Steel. Bring down the Teddy Bears and let them rain down on the ice when Bloomington scores their first goal. We're going to take a quick timeout right here on Off the Tracks. When we come back, we'll dive a little bit more into Dan Jewell and what it's like getting out on the road and scouting some of the team players as we go forward into the Bloomington Thunder's inaugural season in the USHL. You're watching Off the Tracks. Stick around right here. We'll be right back.
The Thunder have joined the USHL, a league that has produced NHL stars like Patrick Sharp and David Backus, and currently has over 240 alumni active in the NHL. Come see the future of the NHL right here in Bloomington starting Saturday, September 27th for the Thunder's home opener. Tickets for this upcoming season can be purchased by calling 434-2980 or visiting bloomingtonthunder.com. Bloomington Thunder, the best of the best.
Hey Thunder fans, welcome back to Off the Track Special Edition right here from the U.S. Cellular Coliseum, talking about scouting and what it's like being out on the road, and also the affiliate players for the Bloomington Thunder as we move forward in the inaugural year for Bloomington in the United States Hockey League. I'm Brian Tosti. To my left is Assistant Coach and Director of Scouting Dan Jewell. Julesy, I know you joined on here right before the season started. A guy from Hamilton College, got a little bit of experience from scouting in your time. What have you learned really about the scouting game and how much of a grind it is for coaches to be out and scouting players?
Yeah, well, you have to embrace the grind, I guess you can say. I have nothing to complain about. I get to go out and watch hockey and evaluate essentially the best players in the country and internationally. So it's exciting. It's interesting. It's funny. You see the same group of people that live throughout the country in the same place every weekend. It's pretty unique. But yeah, I've done quite a bit of traveling. I've been to Toronto twice, Buffalo, Detroit 2 or 3 times. I've been all over Minnesota, Chicago a couple times, through Indiana. So yeah, quite a bit of travel, and we're in a great location. Being in Bloomington, we're an arm's stretch away from a lot of high-end hockey. So it's a bit of a trip up to Minnesota, extremely close to Chicago, just a couple hours, and then it's an easy shot over to Detroit as well. And then if we want to hit up into Ontario, that's all driving distance for myself. And then we also have our regional scouts as well, a couple in the Northeast, a couple in Detroit, and we have a good foundation out west from having a relationship and our ownership group owning the Everett Silvertips as well in the Western Hockey League. So we have a great relationship with that scouting staff as well. So we have a lot to feed off of and a lot to evaluate, and it's been very interesting and a great experience so far for me, for sure.
And like you're mentioning, the hotbeds really for scouting. Minnesota is a huge one. Illinois and Chicago, there's a lot of junior programs right around there. Wisconsin, always a good hockey area. And then you look up into Toronto and looking around at some of the international prospects to bring into this program. Do you kind of start to see all these wheels turning? Granted, there's not that there's not good hockey elsewhere. Like you mentioned, we got other scouts elsewhere. But to get up into those hockey beds, how big are fanship? How big is the hockey life in those areas as guys are growing up and through the systems? Yeah,
it's exciting. Growing up in the Northeast and playing out there, you have your hotbeds there as well, and the hockey is great. And out here, it seems to be. It's not as general, and there's more areas with more quality hockey. And, like you mentioned, the Minnesota hockey has been great for forever. And the high school leagues up there are essential. And it's different in each region, right? Minnesota is great with the high school leagues, where Chicago and Detroit have the midget teams that the quality players are in. So each region has their own kind of niche, which you figure out in a hurry. And all the top end players seem to find themselves in the same area, in the same leagues, and it's been really exciting to watch the quality so far. I think the hockey's been really good in this region for sure.
And it's such a wide array too, because when you're growing up in the Northeast, high school hockey, you're not necessarily going to go too far if you're in the New Yorks or the Massachusetts. If you're going to high school hockey, you go to doing it in AAA programs. But if you go to Minnesota and you're playing high school hockey, it's a whole different caliber and it's a whole different system. There's so many guys that come out of that system. So how is it tough to kind of gauge these players and trying to get the wide array and narrow it down into guys that you'd like to bring into Bloomington in the future?
Sure, it's I think it's a blessing that I grew up and initially recruited and scouted in the Northeast, because it's a little bit, I don't want to say disorganized, but you have to figure it out a little bit more, where there's prep school and midget and junior, and it's just everything's really spread out. And here it kind of, in this region, it makes a little bit more sense. As you mentioned, Minnesota high school is outstanding, so those kids generally stay there. Maybe not through graduation, but through their development, their main development years, they stay there. And then Chicago, those kids play generally for the midget programs, and Detroit as well. So it seems, I talked to scouts, it seems to make a little bit more sense in this region as far as where the players go, where they play, where they're developed, and as opposed to the Northeast, where it's a little bit more all over the place as far as where the talent is. So I think it's a blessing for me, because coming from out there, I understand how that is. And I, again, have great regional guys out there that know the landscape as well. And now coming out here, I had to learn it a little bit, but again, been here just 2.5 months and seem to have a pretty good foundation on how things go around here for sure.
Talking to assistant coach Dan Jewell right here on Off the Track Special Edition on scouting here, as Dan Jewell is the director of scouting here for your Bloomington Thunder. And Julesy, the other part that you kind of like to look at for the scouting purposes is all the relationships that you make. How big is it to make relationships with different coaches, different scouts all throughout the region, and how long does the contacts list get on your phone as you start to meet these guys?
Yeah, it's day to day. It's unbelievable. I mentioned that you see a lot of the same people in different places each weekend, but you still meet a whole different group every weekend as well. And there's a lot of good people in hockey, and in college hockey and junior hockey and youth hockey and high school hockey. It's great to establish relationships. And we mentioned watching video and what's the value of not watching video and being at a game live, and that's it. You learn more about individuals and players and how kids are going to develop and what they're like off the ice, talking to other coaches and other scouts, than you would just watching the game itself. So there's so much value to having this network and establish relationships with all the different types of people that surround the game of hockey in the different leagues. And again, I've established a great relationship with my network in the Northeast, and a little bit out here, and more as we go through. And it's been great to feed off of Coach Williams and Coach Mahood, who have unbelievable networks as well, that have helped me with the transition. And it's an exciting time for sure, yeah.
So let's talk about how tough it is to travel. I know throughout the weekends, you're gone for 2 or 3 days at a time, Thursday through Saturday. There are times you're meeting us on the road as you're coming back through a trip. How tough is it just to, obviously you love to do it because you're watching hockey, and that's kind of where you ended up, but how tough is it to get up in the morning and say, all right, I got to drive 3 hours today, go watch a couple games, scout, and get to know these people, and then the next day got to go right back at it and do the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, anybody that travels for a living knows it could get tiring physically at times, but at the end of the day, you just come back to, hey, you get to go watch some of the best players in the country, and you get to speak with some great hockey minds day to day. And sometimes it's a bit wearing, but a blessing that I get the opportunity to do something like this.
Tell me about some of the really cool contacts that you've made and just people that you've met that it's kind of, as a player at one point, it's kind of I wouldn't call it a starstruck moment, but it's one of those, oh wow, I'm having a nice scouting conversation with so-and-so who was a big time NHLer at one point.
Sure. The countless people. I guess you start with John Van Beesbrook. He's a general manager of Muskegon in our league, who we just played yesterday. I see him quite a bit on the road, and I remember vividly I did a youth camp, and he came in, and I was a goaltender, and he obviously was as well, and he had everybody on the ice stand in goaltending position. And I obviously wasn't doing right because he came up right behind me and kicked my legs out from behind me and then readjusted me and showed me where to go. And obviously I didn't have good enough balance. So I told him that story on the road. It's good. I mean, Keith Kachuk, he's coaching an outstanding, 99 birth year son, and he actually helps out with the St. Louis Blues scouting staff, so we see him here quite a bit watching our guys here with Bloomington as an NHL scout. And Matt Barnaby is a coach of a team in Buffalo who I've had talks with. I mean, just countless people. You run into NHL All-Stars and Hall of Famers on the road, and it's great to meet these people and establish these kind of relationships. Scott Gordon is another guy, ex-NHL head coach, who helps out with the TPH Thunder. His son plays, and it's just over and over. You run into more and more people. It's a lot of good hockey people for sure.
We're finishing up here with Dan Jewell. We got one more segment coming at you. We're going to take a quick timeout, and when we come back, we'll touch on a couple of players that are future watches for the Bloomington Thunder here coming up in the next season of hockey. We got a lot of hockey to play this season, but it's always good to look to the future of the USHL as it's coming in here to Bloomington. You're watching Off the Tracks right here on Bloomington TV, BloomingtonThunder.tv.
The new Bloomington Thunder have joined the USHL and want you to be a part of the exciting action at the US Cellular Coliseum. Season tickets with the Thunder are already on sale with prices starting as low as $9 a game. Don't think you'll be able to make them all? Check out group and partial plans on our website, BloomingtonThunder.com. For tickets, call the Thunder office at 434-2980 or visit our website, BloomingtonThunder.com. Bloomington Thunder, the best of the best.
Hey Thunder fans, welcome back inside Off the Track special edition, a scouting edition here with assistant coach and director of scouting, Dan Jewell. I'm Brian Tosti, as always, with you. Bloomington coming into the week has a couple games coming up this Wednesday against the Chicago Steel. It's welcome home to all the college students. Puck drop is at 7 o'clock, and if you have a valid college ID, come on down to the Coliseum. You get in for free, as well as all kids 12 and under get into the Coliseum free until December 25th. That is Christmas, as we'll be running that promotion all the way through. And then Bloomington has a couple games on Friday and Saturday coming up against Team USA in Chicago. That Saturday game is Teddy Bear Toss. Bring some teddy bears down to the Coliseum and throw them on the ice. When Bloomington scores their first goal, all teddy bears will be donated to the needing for Toys for Tots. And let's get back to the scouting here with assistant coach and and director of scouting, Dan Jewell. And let's touch on a couple guys who really we're looking forward to seeing here in Bloomington in the next couple of years, guys who were draft picks, tenders over the time that we've been watching. And I think the first one that we really want to talk about is Mitchell Matson, because he's a guy, first draft pick for the Bloomington Thunder. He was the highly touted guy who you were talking about earlier in the show, from Minnesota, a guy from high school. And what do we really know about him, and what can he do for this team in the future of Bloomington Thunder hockey?
Yeah, I mean, he's a highly touted prospect, no doubt. Exciting player. He's got all the tools, size, long ranges, skating ability, puck skills, all that stuff. And, we're looking forward to tracking him through the year and seeing his progress. And, he's an exciting player, no doubt. I talked to, I mentioned before, some pro scouts who project him to be a pretty top end player, and I've spoken with him a few times over the phone, and seems like a great kid, and heard nothing but great things about him. off and on the ice. So yeah, definitely a guy worth tracking moving forward here in the next couple of years for Bloomington.
And a couple guys that we saw earlier in the year, they were here at training camp, really trying to get their feet wet here in the USHL. And two guys who are also on the affiliate list, Bailey Conger and Jacob Paganelli, future guys to really watch here going forward and keeping an eye on as they got a little bit of a taste of what this team was all about during camp.
Yeah, absolutely. I came in after camp started, but I've seen both these players play, and I've spoken with both of them. So, yeah, again, two exciting players, a year older than the Mitchell Matson player. But yeah, I saw Paganelli play earlier in Blaine at the beginning of the season. He's playing for Shattuck St. Mary's Prep, an unbelievable program who's dished out the likes of Sidney Crosby, so an outstanding hockey development and school as well. So we're excited to keep a close eye on him moving into the next year and the year after. And you mentioned as well Bailey Conger. Bailey Conger playing out east for a prep school in Massachusetts, Cushing Academy, who I'm very familiar with the school and the hockey program, scouting a lot of prep school hockey the last couple of years in college. So I've seen him play quite a bit as well, and he's another exciting player moving forward for the Bloomington Thunder. Actually, another college committed player similar to Mitchell Matson, committed to St. Lawrence University, I believe. So
we got a couple of the younger guys too, just future people to watch on the affiliate list. Aiden Beck and Jake Thies, those two guys who are 98. So what can you expect out of watching guys like that and just getting prepared for them? Because obviously it's going to be a tough transition for them to make the jump as some of the younger guys come into the program.
Yeah, it's unbelievable to watch the younger players because the development track is so fast. Mm-hmm. So you have to watch them closely. Especially with those 98 birth year guys in the futures draft from last year. So those are the most intriguing and guys that you like to keep a close eye on, because week to week it's unbelievable. Sometimes they make such drastic jumps. So yeah, those two guys as 98 birth years are exciting players as well. Yeah.
And you said you saw Carson Brisk right before we jumped on the air. You said saw him over the weekend, and just trying to dive into what you thought of him over the last weekend.
Yeah, I saw him play a couple times over the weekend in Detroit. Hard-nosed, really solid, skilled defenseman that brings the type of edge that we like to play here at Bloomington. So he's a type of guy that we think will fit in the style of play, and his coaching staff mentioned the type of kid he is, and the work ethic and the edge to his game, which we like to see, obviously with discipline, but that's something that we like to hear from the coaching staff, and all great things from the kid as well. Absolutely.
And another guy who came out of the Buffalo Junior Sabres program, Matt Nuttall did. Another guy to watch is Trevor McCucci. He's a goaltender that could make a difference here in Bloomington in the future. Yeah,
He's another exciting goaltender. I've heard nothing but great things from colleges, and he actually plays for the Philly Little Flyers in the Eastern Hockey League this year, and he's doing an exceptional job. And he's playing for Rocky Russo, head coach for the Philly Little Flyers, and he also happens to be a regional scout for the Bloomington Thunder. So a good relationship there. I speak to Rocky almost on a daily basis, bi-weekly at least, and he is really excited about the player. He's done great things for him. I think he only has one loss on the year, and his numbers are outstanding. So an exciting goaltender, a 97 playing junior A hockey with 21 to 17, 18-year-olds. So great experience for him down there, and somebody that we're keeping a close eye on for the future.
And then just to kind of wrap up some of the recaps and guys to watch, there's a guy who was picked up in a trade earlier this year along with Ryan Galt and Ryan Soroki. Tanner Tweeten is a guy who we should keep an eye on here in the next couple years.
Yeah, another Minnesota high school guy similar to Mitchell Matson. They actually played together, Mitchell Matson, Tanner Tweeten, on the same line quite often. There's a Upper Midwest Elite League where all the top players in the region compose all-star teams, and they play against each other. And they actually played together for the most of the fall, so it was fun to see those guys together and speak to them on the phone. And who knows in the future what could happen there. Maybe that's that's a flash of things to come.
Well, hey, we're not fortune tellers, but we do our best to try and keep an eye on some of these guys. We'll definitely have you on the mic here again, upcoming in the next couple of weeks here, Jules. You get a little bit of an update on where you've been and what's going on in the scouting world. We appreciate the time.
Great, happy to be here.
That's Dan Jewell, the Director of Scouting and Assistant Coach for your Bloomington Thunder. That's all the time we have here on Off the Tracks. Stick with us next week. We'll bring another edition here from the U.S. Cellular Coliseum as Bloomington finishes up a 3-game weekend coming up on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday as they take on the Chicago Steel and Team USA. All 7 o'clock starts right around Thanksgiving, so bring the family down to the Coliseum and enjoy some great hockey. For Dan Jewell, I'm Brian Tossi saying, well, so long. We'll see you next week right here on Off the Tracks. We'll try to keep the Thunder rolling here as we move into the first third, as we finish up the first third of this USHL season. We'll see you next time, everybody.